How do you grind currency is a recurring question I've been getting in order to afford the character that I have put together. Because some of the gear pieces are pretty expensive, and the way I've been going about it is running T17 maps and trying to print as many scarabs as possible for each map that I'm running. I have been running cigarettes. The reason for this is that the boss in those maps are biased towards dropping devouring fragments and reality fragments. So if we check the price on those, you can see it's 1.2 divines. So it is more than that if you can sell them in bulk. They will instantly sell for this price that you can see here, and 1.1 for devouring fragments. You can of course also drop the other fragments, and they are not worth nearly as much. But because of the bias, and if you have enough quantity in the maps, I usually drop 2 fragments every time I kill the boss. So if we check the price on this one, a cigarette map is a little less than a divine. Then if you have to roll it, let's say you have an initial cost of 1 divine, buying the map and rolling it so you can run it, and you have the scarab modifier on it. Then you just need to get one of these 2 fragments from Katarina, and then you break even, and then everything else you drop is just a profit. So I've saved my drops from 3 tier 17 maps. You can see them here. And this one I got lucky with 2 devouring fragments, and you can see a bunch of scarabs over here. Here I got one of the dots, so the sensitizing fragment is like 20-25 chaos when you sell them in bulk. And then I got a reality fragment, so this paid for the party, and then the rest here is just extra. Then the last map here, this is, I've recorded this map here, so you'll be seeing it at the end of the video. I got 1 devouring fragment, so I broke even, and then got a little extra from the synthesizing fragment. So all in all, these maps, they can vary a lot. If you're lucky and get some of the rare scarabs, then you can make a pretty big profit. Otherwise, you just you try and get some good loot. Also, you might get some uniques and other things, which is nice. And you get a lot of gold as well. I usually get between 70 and 100,000 gold per map that I run of these. If we quickly go into here, I'm using Wealthy Exile because that's a good way to calculate the drops. So if we just take the first here, this was a good one. I saved it from a couple of days ago. So it was 5.5 divines. You can see I have 2 devouring fragments. That is 2.2 divines. Then I got a scarab of containment. And then the bloodline scarab is also worth a lot. So those are carrying most of the revenue from it. But if we say I invested 1 divine into running it, I got 4.5 divines out of this. If I were to sell everything, which I probably wouldn't. This year, it's earlier from today, so this wasn't that good a run, but still it's way more than the 1 divine investment. And then the third one here is the one that you'll be seeing in the video. It's a still like 2.4 divines if you were to sell all of it. And bear in mind, this is the minimum price that you're getting for things. I got 4 of these in the map. Let's say take the Scarab of Discernment. If I'm selling these in bulk, I can easily get 30, maybe even 35 KRs a piece, depending on how the market is developing. So you get more than just the listing price for these Scarabs. But how to go about it? I use my atlas to try and multiply the map modifiers as much as possible. So I have taken all of the explicit modifiers, the increased effect of those on the atlas tree. I've taken all, like you have the top hat over here. So all of these are 2% increase, as well as these in here. Then I've taken the entire wheel here. It is some 3%ers, and then 3% per 5 map quality and this just translates into 12% increased effect. And then I also have the wheel down here, which is 2% increased effect of explicit modifiers per explicit modifier, meaning these maps have a good amount of them. I think it's like always 8, so this means 16% increase. I think I'm sitting around like 70, 80, maybe even 90% increased effect. I haven't done the numbers, but I'm taking all the notes that I can in order to increase the difficulty of the maps, but also scaling up the implicit ones. So the 90% more scarabs, if I were to run this map here, would be a lot higher. It would probably be like 160 plus. Then in order to get as many drops as possible, I'm taking all the quantity nodes here and also the 3 central ones for some extra rarity. Then I have taken most of the good scarab nodes on the tree. Remarkable relics. This is to be more lucky, getting the uncommon varieties and hoping that you get one of the big ones. These just some increased scarabs. You could also see I've just taken some dead end nodes here in order to get a little bit more scarabs. I haven't allocated this one because I don't kill that many unique monsters in the maps, but I do kill a lot of rares, and this is part of my strategy, because if we get out from here, the scarabs that I'm running Horned Scarab of Nemesis, which gives rare monsters in area 2 additional modifiers. So if we go in here, rare monsters in your maps have 50% increased chance to drop scarabs per monster modifier affecting them. Rares are born with 2 monster modifiers. Then I add an additional 2 on top of it. So instead of having 100% increased chance to drop scarabs, they now had 200%. Then I also make my maps delirious, which is another modifier affecting the monsters, meaning they are now up to 250% increase. So I just want to put as many rare monsters in my map as possible, and then just milk them for scarabs. To get more quantity, I have the Excite nodes here, and you can see it's I'm taking all the pack size, so I have 20 pack size down here and another 20 up here, and a 50% chance to spawn an altar when the influence appears in my maps, and then Wrath of the Cosmos in order to make the altars more powerful. Then and this is just to get more quantity in my maps, or the chance to duplicate scarabs. You can also get that modifier from the altars. Then I have blocked out everything possible down here because I don't want these scarabs. You can see the second line on these notables. Scarabs found in your maps cannot be Legion scarabs, and that counts for all the additional content here. The reason for this is, again, go in here, check the scarabs. A lot of these basic scarabs, they are pretty much worthless. If we check the blight, 1 C, 1 chaos, ultimatum, 1 chaos. I don't want any of these. Expedition, 1 chaos. Legion, it might be worth a little bit, yeah, but still next to nothing really. Breach, okay, a little bit here. But if we look at ambush scarabs, they are worth more than 10 chaos if you sell them in bulk easily. Harbinger scarabs, you can't block these, so but they still sell for something. So you want to make it impossible for the bad scarabs to drop, and then just increase your chance in order to get the scarabs which are actually worth something. Then maybe I should remove this one up here because I don't use it that much anymore, but scarabs in your in my maps have 100% more likely to be cartography scarabs. So I should probably unskill this one and then just try and get as many ambush scarabs as possible. The other options here are not interesting to me. So this is the setup for the Atlas tree, and you can see these maps here that the revenue I've gotten from them. Now I'll be jumping into a map and showcasing how I run it, and then you can see how I'm trying to really milk the rares for as many scarabs as possible, and yeah, maybe you can spawn some ideas for mapping like this yourself. Bear in mind though, you need a very strong character for this. My character is one of the strongest I've ever made in the game, probably the strongest one at this stage. And if you're not able to run all of these nodes up here, you don't need them. You can cut down on them and then just invest elsewhere. So you don't need to go completely nuts on increasing the effect. It is just because my character has come to a point where I am able to run basically the most used up content that I can imagine. But yeah, let's jump into the map, and then you can see for yourself. Let's take a look at the mapping here. You can see the one I've prepared. It has a very nice modifier with the rare monsters have 2 additional modifiers that gets multiplied through the atlas, so it gets up to 3, and then the scarab of Nemesis gives the monsters an additional 2. You can see the scarab set up here. So every rare monster in the map will have 7 modifiers plus the delirium. You can see that later on. But here are the modifiers, and then I'm just running towards the boss, hoping to kill as few monsters on the way as possible, so as to not spawn the exarch influence. The reason I'm doing this is that you can get 3 types of altars. There is boss modifiers, there are player modifiers, and there are minion modifiers. If you kill the boss, that type of altar can no longer spawn, so you only have the minion and the player modifiers to choose from. So here I'm fast forwarding because there's no reason to see the entire boss fight. Just see the drops here, because I get 2 fragments here, one good, one not so good. So this means I've already covered my expenses for the map. So now everything I get from here is just pure bonus. So here, yeah, that's a big lag spike. It happens at times when I'm recording and that a lot of monsters spawn in. But here you can see there's a chance for scarabs to be... no, this is not a duplication one. This was just some extra scarabs for minions to drop. But I think I get 2 duplication altars later on, so I get to like 50% chance for drop scarabs to be duplicated, which is of course good with this strategy. And now you can see just how many modifiers the rare monsters have whenever I get to hover over one. Then you can see there's a lot of white text on them. This of course makes the map difficult, so you need a strong character for it. But I've gotten to that point with this one, so I'm able to run this juiced up content here. If you continue to watch it till the end, you will see that all the altars I get, there are no boss modifiers on them, and I try to get as much quantity as possible, and if I can't get quantity, I try and get something related to scarabs. But yeah, take a look at the footage here, and then you can decide for yourself whether this is a strategy you want to dip your toes into. Anyway, in any case, thanks for watching, and have a good one.